Good morning, Vietnam. I'm very pumped up for a Saturday night out. Unfortunately, it's not Saturday, it's Thursday, so I thought, okay, let's do a Pokemon commentary instead. So this one's pretty exciting, just as exciting as the Wigfield video itself. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll link it in the video description. But this particular battle, I had against a guy called Drofriz on the Smogon Wi-Fi battle finder. And I saw the team there and I thought, okay, Volbeat and Murkrow are going to be the biggest metaphorical thorns in my side. For sure, just because of that prankster ability. So I'm thinking, okay, let's lead with Bastiodon, get up those rocks as soon as possible, just because it'll limit his switch-ins. Murkrow almost definitely has Roost anyway, but, you know, it helps to get the extra damage on the switch-in. And I don't think Volbeat gets any kind of recovery. Maybe Moonlight, not entirely sure, but he's going to go for a Perish Song as I go for a Rock Slide. I didn't want to go for Rocks just in case he had Taunt on the first turn, so, you know, now I'm going to go ahead and switch out. I didn't really care what I switched into, I just kind of figured I'd better switch into something and then go back into Bastiodon just to get up the rocks. And Bastiodon, let me tell you, Bastiodon doesn't care about anyone or anything. Look at his face. Can't see it from here, but it's kind of like a big shield thing. It's an absolutely dominant Pokemon in terms of defense. It's like 168 physical defense and 17 something special defense. No, I forget the exact numbers. It's probably slightly better at physical, but point is, it's pretty damn bulky. It can take hits for days. But having said that, I don't want to stay in on a Relicanth, so as I do get at my rocks, I kind of want to switch out of there, go into my Vileplume here because it can pretty much completely wall this guy, barring kind of a Choice Band, Head Smash kind of set, which I guess is pretty common on Relicanth. Not that Relicanth is common whatsoever, but if I had a Relicanth, I'd probably do that. But looking at him there, I think he's probably a Life Orb Rock Polish kind of set. I'm thinking Waterfall, Head Smash, maybe Earthquake if it gets that. Not entirely sure if it does or not, but now he's going to go to Volbeat. I did kind of predict the switch, so I didn't want to go for a Giga Drain. And, you know, Volbeat wouldn't have taken anything from a Giga Drain, so that kind of works out for me there. Now, he's going to go for a T-Wave here. I want to say I predicted that, but I'm not really sure why I would have predicted him going for a T-Wave on my Vileplume, so maybe I did. Maybe I'm not entirely sure what I predicted, but doesn't really matter. I go to Vinny here, who's going to take the T-Wave because I have Limber. I was really tempted to put Unburden on this guy, but then I thought, actually Limber's probably more useful. Lipard's pretty damn quick as it is, so I don't necessarily need that speed boost. And speaking of speed boosts, I do believe Lipard does get Prankster from the Dream World, much like Volbeat and Murkrow. Having said that, I don't think it's actually released yet, and if it is, I'm surprised I don't see this thing used more. But even if it is, I don't use Dream World abilities regardless, so I guess I'll stick with Limber. But now I'm going to go ahead and go to Seadra here. I thought, okay, number one is going to predict my switch to Vileplume again. Number two, I think Seadra actually has higher physical defense when you factor in Eviolite, so it seemed the safe switch. Now, he's going to miss his second Head Smash here. Definitely not good news for him. As I go for another Scald, and just to rub salt in the wounds, I get a critical hit. So poor Relicanth there. Dies off, unfortunately. It's kind of weird. Relicanth is an interesting Pokemon. I think it has pretty damn solid physical attack. And it gets Head Smash and Waterfall and all this good stuff. I think it's based on like some ancient creature which hasn't actually changed in like 4 million years or whatever it is. Coelacanth, I think it's called. However you pronounce that. It's like C-O-E and then a load of other letters. It's an ancient fish pretty much, and it hasn't changed in years. I do love me a bit of Darwinism, a bit of biology. Not the Girls Aloud video, although that's pretty nice as well. Do love the whole evolution kind of thing. Very interesting topic indeed. But now he's going to go to Swellow here. I think, okay, Bastiodon, like I said, does not care for anyone, especially Swellow. I'm going to take that Brave Bird like a beast and just let him die off to his own recoil pretty much. I could have saved him with Seadra, but I thought, okay, Seadra has pretty decent speed. So I figure it's worth breaking the sturdy on Bastiodon just because, you know, I figure Seadra can be safe for later, right? So in comes Volbeat here, he goes for a Confuse Ray. I did kind of question the switch here because he probably knows I can kill him off with one Rock Slide. And that's exactly what I'm going to try and do. He's got the whole Para Fusion thing going on here, Confuse Ray and T-Wave. But having said that, Bastiodon, like I said, does not care for Volbeat. I'm going to just keep staying in here. Go for a Rock Slide as soon as I possibly can. He's going for Tail Glow here. Now that I think about it, his kind of set he's running here is pretty damn useful given the rest of his team. It's got pretty good synergy. You Tail Glow up with Volbeat, you Baton Pass out to Magmortar or, you know, Gardevoir, I guess. I think it's an offensive Gardevoir. And yeah, that works out reasonably well, so Now I'm going to go ahead and switch. Had I known he'd go for the Focus Blast, I probably would have stayed in, gone for a Metal Burst, but actually no, he doesn't even go for the Focus Blast. I guess he predicted my switch. Either way, Hidden Power is not very effective against Seadra, so I'm thinking Ice, possibly Water, though probably more likely Ice. But I see the Life Orb, so I think, okay, I don't think he'll kill me with one Focus Blast. Even if he does have it, and even if he does hit, I reckon Scraggy can live it. Because that's how Scraggy rolls. He doesn't die to anything. Scraggy is one of those Pokemon which is just really, really hard to remove. Much like Dragonair, but... Yep, I'm going to go ahead and take him out with a Crunch. Now he brings in Magmortar. I kind of want to scout and see what kind of set he is. And I figure I'll just leave Scraggy in to die. Anything will kill him off at this point. But like I said, I'm not really too bothered. Scraggy will happily go down after taking down the Gardevoir. So now I'm going to go ahead and bring in Bastiodon. Now, I see that he's Life Orb, and I know he's probably got Focus Blast, right? Now, I stay in here and go for a Rock Slide. I do have Metal Burst, but I thought, okay, maybe he'll miss the Focus Blast, and I'll just kind of go ahead and use a Rock Slide, which should pretty much kill him anyway. Even if it doesn't, it'll bring him down to a range where Lipa could come in and mop up the mess that's left over, so yeah, it seemed the safe play. But I get fully paralyzed, as you can see, so that's definitely not good for me. I'm going to bring in Chatot here. I think Chatot, you got this. You can definitely finish this guy off. I'm going to go for Hyper Voice. It's my most powerful move. Unfortunately, he lives on a tiny sliver of health. If that health was a currency, it would definitely be a Zimbabwean dollar. That is the tiniest smidgen of health he can possibly have. And he's going to die to his Life Orb Recall. So I'm thinking, okay, no problem. I still got a couple of guys left. I got Vinny here. Vinny plays no games. He brings in Murkrow here, and thinking about it, this is probably the longest point of the game. The longest Stalwart I've ever had in any game whatsoever. Now, I kind of blame this on myself, just because I could have solved the Stalwart really quickly, and it took me about, what, 10 turns to realise this. If I went for Encore and locked him into some kind of non-attacking move, right, and then went for Taunt, he'd have to struggle, because he has to go for a non-attacking move, but he can't use non-attacking moves, so he has to struggle, and eventually he'd kill himself off, right? Unfortunately, I had it in my head that it was a good idea to go for Swagger and then Foul Play, and I don't know, I was so power hungry with Lipid using Foul Play and Swagger that I thought, that's going to be how I take him down. Not the best of ideas. It did extend this battle by a good few, what, 10-15 turns, so apologies for the ending here, which is why I kind of sped up so much. But it's going to keep going for Roost and Sub and Hidden Power Flying, I guess that is. Just kind of gradually whittling down my Lipid here. I'm going to Encore him here into whatever he went for. I really hope I go for a Taunt here, otherwise, yeah, I do go for a Taunt finally. Took me long enough to realise, and he's going to go ahead and hit himself with Struggle here. Now, I didn't really realise this at the time, but when you use Struggle, obviously Swagger's going to power up his attack, so he's going to do more to me. But it doesn't affect the recoil damage, I think. I think it's like a base rate of quarter damage every time. And it doesn't actually change, so me going for Swagger actually helped him out in the long run. So that's definitely not good for me. So he's finally going to kill me off here with a Hidden Power. I did Taunt him, or Encore him, or whatever I did. So I know he's going to have to go for Hidden Power, whatever that is. And I know Vileplume here can take one of the hits, go for a Sludge Bomb, and that is ridiculous massive overkill on whatever health he had left. So that was the end of the game. Vileplume finishes off the job. Nice little 1-0, I think that was. Yeah, I think that was pretty close. I think all I had left was Vileplume in that situation, but yep, that was a really great battle, Drofriz. Really enjoyed it. If you guys want to see my latest post to PMPBeta, I'll link it in the video description. But with that being said, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.